Undoing fear is the foremost valuable life practice. The practice of undoing our fear, whenever it arises, is the one most valuable life practice that not only solves many problems, but also suffuses into all areas of our life, creating a new threshold of peace and fulfillment. Undoing resisted fear. What is meant by undoing fear? To speak more accurately, we should say undoing resisted fear. Unresisted fear is not a problem. It provides us with energy and even confidence flowing through us and for us, dissipating when no longer needed. Here are some many faces of resisted fear. Most of us, however, never or rarely experience unresisted fear. Our chronic resisted fear dominates our lives and arises in various forms of worry, anxiety, stress, feeling pressured, overwhelm, depression, resentment, shyness, disappointment, procrastination, indecision, seriousness, busyness, perfectionism, OCD, overpromising, lack of presence, irritation and anger, blaming others, and blaming ourselves, which is guilt. These toxic habits run deep. Our habit of resisting fear runs very deep. All of us have been taught, almost from infancy, both implicitly and explicitly, that fear is the bad guy. Somehow we should confront our fear, overcome our fear, ignore our fear, convince ourselves that we should not be afraid. In short, to resist our fear. Fighting within ourselves this knee-jerk resistance to fear results in loss of energy and loss of confidence. We are unable to make use of fear's natural power to give us energy and confidence. Reclaiming your energy and confidence. The undoing fear process is the antidote to the poisonous results that are created from resisting our fear. Undoing fear has three components which are performed simultaneously. Number one, breathe slowly and deeply, fully inhaling and exhaling from your belly. Number two, speak aloud, if possible, otherwise silently to yourself, a specifically constructed sentence. This sentence has two parts. The first part is always the same. The second part varies to reflect the content of the specific resisted fear that is being undone. The first part is, holy cats and jeepers creepers, I'm so scared that. Holy cats and jeepers creepers, I'm so scared that. You could select a different exclamatory phrase at the beginning, such as wow, or egads, or holy smokes. The second part of the sentence will express the specific resisted fear, as in, people are thinking badly of me, or I might not do good on the test, or I might die soon. As a complete sentence, it might sound like this, or it would sound like this. Holy cats and jeepers creepers, I'm so scared that people are thinking badly of me. The third part of the technique is, as you're belly breathing, speak your specifically constructed sentence slowly, loudly, and using a silly, wacky voice. Let me demonstrate. Holy cats and jeepers creepers! I'm so scared! People are thinking badly of me! Okay, so test it out for yourself. Even though I've trained thousands of people through this process, and they've all gotten good results. I don't want you to believe me without testing it for yourself. Don't think it. You've got to do it in order to feel the results. Because of my experience, however, I can confidently predict that with as few as 4 speakings of the undoing fear sentence constructed for your specific fear, you will notice a fresh feeling of peace, energy, lightness, and confidence. To ensure that you've taken enough of this antidote, I recommend speaking it 11 times. But there's a rub. After one good test, undoing one of your fears, you'll know that this process is effective. Just doing this process once or once in a while would not dramatically change your life for the better. The habit of resisting fear is deeply set. Although each time you undo a fear, you'll get immediate results. To begin to loosen and unseat the resisting fear habit and to create a new habit of playing with your fear will take hundreds of repetitions. It's a bit like going to the gym. You can't just go once and be done with exercising if you're expecting to get full and lasting value. How to establish deep and lasting value. Since you'll be getting immediate benefit from each practice of undoing fear, that's not a problem, as long as you can create an ongoing practice of doing it. Right now, hopefully, assuming you've tested the process to confirm that it works for you, you're thinking, I'm going to use this whenever I notice I'm worrying or having anxiety. If you don't take any more action to ensure follow-through on this intention, it will surely go the same path as most New Year's resolutions go, namely the path to nowhere. Instead, take out your mobile phone right now. Stop reading this and do this. Set a recurring alarm every hour, every 3 hours, or at minimum once a day. Keep this recurring alarm going. Every time you hear the alarm, if you notice any resisted fear, take yourself through the undoing fear to create peace, energy, lightness, and confidence. To repeat some of the different expressions of resisted fear. Resisted fear dons many different masks. Here are some of them. Worry, anxiety, stress, feeling pressured, overwhelmed, depression, resentment, shyness, disappointment, procrastination, indecision, seriousness, busyness, perfectionism, OCD, overpromising, lack of presence, irritation and anger, blaming others, and blaming ourselves, which results in guilt. If you're unclear about how to apply undoing fear to one of these problems, search for that problem under your problem, and you'll gain clarity of how to apply the process for that particular problem. Undoing fear is the first go-to in your life toolbox. Use it to either solve or ameliorate the majority of most of presenting problems in your life.